Coach Pauly, talk about your expectations for tryouts that start next week.
My expectations in terms of what we're looking for is we're really looking for some complementary pieces this year. We've got a good core of guys coming back. I think our defensive core is pretty solid. Our goaltending is pretty solid. But right now, we're going to be looking for some guys who will complement those pieces that we already have in place. And there's a solid core returning, but there's a lot of opportunities there as well. And so, I think we have a good, solid, strong sophomore class that's going to push the upperclassmen. But we have some juniors who are looking at stepping up as well.
I guess take that into the season. You know what your core players are going to be. Overall view of what do you expect this season?
Well, I think I anticipate goal scoring to be still an issue. I think we have some boys who can put the puck in the net. Kate Gleagle's got that ability. Ristow's got that ability. We have other guys who really get a lot of opportunities, but haven't really found a way to get that scorer's touch yet. So we struggled last year at times to get goals, as we saw down the stretch. We got to kind of shut out the final game of the year. So that's an area of concern. An area of strength is we really should be a very good defensive hockey team this year. I mean, when you start with Ryan Bishop, we believe Bish is one of the better goalies in the area, and we have returners like Nick Austin and Peter Heinbold and Connor Mayer, at defense, and then of course returning upperclassmen coming in as well. That at the blue line we should be very strong. So while we try to figure out the offensive end, we should have the defensive end pretty well locked down.
Talk a little bit more about those individuals on defense. You've got Connor, who comes off playing for the USA at the U17 tournament this summer, and then you've got a couple of fourth-year defensemen on your blue line.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's huge. I think that people talk about goaltending certainly I do as well, but I think in the high school game, I think you can go an awful long way with great defensemen. And one thinks of those great Jefferson hockey teams in the 90s. I don't know if you can name, with all due respect to the goalies, I don't know if I can remember the name of the goalies, but I certainly remember that Crowley and Treble and guys like that, and then Checo on the blue line. And so no one ever got to the goalie. And so starting with the experience that you referenced with guys like Heinbold, Austin, Mayer, we got Girardi coming back, so got a lot of varsity experience under his belt as well. That really speaks well to a great foundation in terms of defending, but also we like to tackle our defensemen too. So hopefully with our offenses, we try to figure out how to get more goals, that we can use those guys not only to prevent goals, but to get us some as well.
Your biggest losses do seem to be up front. You've got a handful of good forwards, but really I'm assuming you're looking for depth guys. What exactly are you looking for in terms of depth on your forward lines?
We're looking for guys who can be a little more physical, can really hound the pucks, who are going to do their job, both ways up the boards, and really be those complementary pieces in terms of we like them to dump a puck in the net once in a while, but we're looking for guys who are just solid, strong, character type players who can just give us quality shifts when they're out there, and there's spots open for guys like that right now.
In recent years, goal scoring has been a strength of this team. Last year, we saw that you struggle at times to score, and you mentioned it earlier. How much does that change how you go about your game planning?
Well, I think it certainly changes from the standpoint of trying to figure out. I think you have to be more systematic in how you're trying to look for those goals. And let's face it, when you have guys that come through your program, like Dan Lebowski and Grant Bessie and Spencer Noss, that there's that door opening factor, where you open, you let them go. And so there's less of the door opening factor, and you have to think be a little more intentional in your game plan, in terms of how you're going to attack. And I think in terms of what we're emphasizing in practice and building up throughout the year, I think there's more of a systematic approach that we're going to have to take.
Now, you've got one of the stronger schedules in the state, as you always do. You always have a strong non-conference schedule, but you get down to the end of the season, the section has changed a little bit. How do you see the section rounding out and the teams that you'll play in the section during the regular season? How does that play out?
Yeah, well, as we all know, the section changed. You have the departure of of Minnetonka and Eden Prairie, and Eden Prairie could arguably be the best team in the state. They got a lot of guys back, so goodbye to them, I suppose. But yeah, you have Edina, one of the most storied programs, and they have a long state tournament run now. So you got Edina in here, and I think the teams to beat, Edina, Wayzata, I think Hopkins. I think Hopkins will be more of a factor than people think. Creighton. I think there's some very good. I know there's very good depth, in the section, and so we lost both Tonk and EP were real high end teams, but you still got Wayzata sitting there. You have one of the most storied programs of state, Edina, coming in. So that in a lot of ways it's the usual suspects, but just one thing that hasn't changed in Section 6. If you've got that 4th seed or that 5th seed, you've got yourself a dogfight. And I think this year, the 3rd seed could be a dogfight as well.
If there's one thing that you could tell fans to look forward to from your team this year, what would it be?
You know what? I think we're going to see more of a cohesive effort. I think we were a little bit disjointed last year. I think we had spurts where we just looked terrific, and spurts where we didn't look so good. And I think those who fall right into hockey can look forward to a team that I think that's not going to be maybe a Jekyll and Hyde from one week to the next. I don't know the wins. The wins are never going to come easy. As you said earlier, the schedule's tough. You could dump 2 or 3 in a row and still be playing well. But I think what we're going to see, a consistent, passionate effort from our guys, and really focusing on the process.
All right, that should do it. Thank you very much, Coach.
Always. Yeah.